Hey guys, thanks so much for coming back to my channel. I am Psychic Bella Love. You can book your own personal private reading with me on my website, psychicbellalove.com. Use code BELLA20 all in caps and get 20% off your first reading with me. You can also follow me on Instagram. I post my weekly specials because I always do discounts and special readings. And I do let you guys know like when I'm gonna upload over there as well. I am still new to YouTube, so any likes, shares, comments, subscriptions, it's all very appreciated. So before we get started, you know, we're gonna be talking about Tasha K. Now, some of my tea from one of my previous readings on her has already sort of come to fruition. Number one being that, you know, Storm obviously was not going to bash her, but defend her and then just sort of, you know, kind of like ignore things from there on out, no matter what she was doing. Also, the fact that, you know, Jaguar came out and said that she knew that Tasha had some sort of like, you know, bad intentions or was partnered up with somebody trying to like troll or expose Jaguar, and that she was just gonna take the interview, you know, sort of let Tasha expose herself for who she truly is. And so now, you know, since all of that has happened and since we've done this reading, you know, Tasha has done a whole lot more videos than she has been doing lately. She's been going on these sort of, you know, like rants and things on her channel. So a lot has happened, you know, up until from what I was able to see, you know, because I did go back and try to just look at things and see like where everything was at. It seemed as if Jaguar had never really like came out against Tasha or said anything against her. She just said, I understood the angle that she was going at with the interview. It's fine. I'm not upset. And then Tasha went and did that video where it was like, I'm going to expose Jaguar for lying, and tried to like discredit her. And then, you know, Jaguar said a few things since then, but it was just like, you know, like we talked about, I knew you were up to something, so I let you expose yourself. Like, you wanted to play a game, we played a game, you know, but she really wasn't even out there like hardcore even bashing Tasha, you know, but Tasha's still been on this roll about Jaguar, with the latest incident being something about her having some sort of like family member of Jaguar's or somebody like that who wanted to come out and do some sort of interview and expose Jaguar. And then she was saying something about like, I'm going to give that interview to Storm if he wants it, or if another blogger who has over 50,000 subscribers can take it. So she's just on one. And so we're going to take a look at Tasha, see like where is Tasha's mindset right now? Is there any truth to the fact that she's losing money? I mean, I know she's definitely lost subscribers. When you're at like 800,000 subscribers though, does like 5,000 really like make a whole big difference? I don't know. You know, like I said, I'm new to YouTube. I'm still figuring out. I can't even figure out the freaking Instagram algorithm, and I've been on Instagram forever. So, because they're always changing it. And from what I've heard, YouTube does the same thing. So, does it have an impact? Maybe. I'm not sure. But it does seem like it is kind of a little bit of a drop in the bucket when you have so many subscribers to lose 5,000, 6,000. Like, is it really like gonna overall like ruin you? But you know, there is a lot of people saying that they're going broke and things aren't going so well for her behind the scenes. Supposedly she's been dropped by some of her sponsors. So we're just going to go ahead and take a look and see what all is going on in that sense. So, Spirit, can you please join us and let us know when it comes to La Tasha Kibi, aka Tasha K? Where is she at? What does she have planned for going forward? Is she going to continue to go after Jaguar? Is she going to continue to lose subscribers? Is she going to succeed or fail? Please, Spirit, give us any of the information that we are asking for. We seek to understand and gain clarity, not for any bad intents. Please bless Tasha, Jaguar, and anybody else that we speak of during this reading and anybody who is watching. Thank you, Spirit, for joining us today. Okay. And, you know, the thing is that I almost find comical about Tasha is that she's, you know, we've all seen she has her public beef going on with Cardi. You know, she's made comments before about Cardi, like, needing to stop responding to everything and not needing to make such a big deal about stuff. And it's like, if you just let things pass, like, it wouldn't be this big deal, but you, like, drag it out by getting online and ranting and cussing people out and this and that. Well, Tasha, you guys are one and the same in that sense, right? And Storm, you shouldn't have said anything. I mean, that's kind of the thing where I think sometimes people need to take a book, a chapter out of Beyonce's book, or Queen Elizabeth has that whole thing of don't complain and never explain. It's like a lot of people would be so much better off doing that because things just pass and die down. If you don't give it any attention, you don't feed it anything, it's like, it just, you move on from it and you're okay. But people forget about it. The news cycles are so slow. I mean, so quick, you know, that there's so much happening that nothing is going to stick out there for weeks and months on end unless you continue to feed it and allow it to get to that place. And so, you know, Storm just sort of, the way that he addressed things, I understand. Like, he's like, don't put me in this shit. I don't want to be a part of, you know, the black blog version of Dramageddon. But at the same time, Storm, you should have just said, if that's the way that Tasha wanted to conduct the interview, it's all good. I don't care. Or not said anything at all. Just the same way that Tasha should have just said, I'm sorry you guys didn't like it. You know, Jaguar and I just, we didn't mesh or whatever, you know. I'll duly noted and I'll try to do better interviews in the future. And left it at that. You would not have, Tasha, all of these, everybody going after you. I wouldn't be doing a reading on you right now. I would be doing the second or third reading on you in the last week if you knew how to keep your mouth shut and just let things slide. So, but she can't. And I mean, you know, again, it is human nature. People want to talk about you and you're like, that's not what it was to want to defend yourself. It's just sometimes you really, when you are a public figure especially, you just have to drop stuff and let it go. Beyonce, people talk about Beyonce all the time. She's not going to get on Instagram and be like, you guys, guess what? I am not a witch. My husband did not do this. No, she's just going to ignore it and maybe she'll address it in a song, vaguely, but that's about it. So, oh boy, Tasha, you know, I don't really get any great cards here. So as far as like, yes, she's definitely feeling the backlash from this, but again, it's a situation of your own creation with the Eight of Swords. She was so caught up in, with the Knight of Coins, trying to make this money that she was not seeing the bigger picture, in that you cut off your own, you know, nose to spite your face. You should have just never gotten yourself involved. Let Storm handle everything as far as Jaguar was concerned. Spirit's talking about learning from the mistakes of the past. You've already been in this situation before where you and another blogger decided to try to show both sides of a story and that blew up. Why would you ever think that this was a good idea to do this again? And especially with this person in this situation, because Jaguar does have all the sympathy in the world right now. Yes, there's people that doubt her. Yes, there's people that maybe like take it with a grain of salt, whatever. But people still have empathy for this woman. You know, she's been through a lot. She's talked about her tragedies. And then for Tasha to ask the insensitive questions that she did with the intention of trying to discredit Jaguar, and then go on this bigger rant and bigger mountain that she's climbing on, trying to, you know, further discredit her to make herself look better. is definitely the wrong way to go about everything. And it's almost like, why didn't you, if there was somebody who was like being a very major critic of yours, which we know she's had those situations in the past where her and other bloggers have beefed or whatever, you should have kept the beef with those people instead of trying to create a beef with Jaguar, who never came out after you anyways. And it's like, if you would have just been like, Jaguar said she didn't have an issue with it, shut the F up and stop making videos about this because neither her or I have a problem with it, you could have deaded it and things would have worked out better in your favor. But instead, you went after the wrong person and you created this Three of Swords situation for yourself where you broke your own heart. You're ruining your own, reputation. You're contributing to your own downfall. You put yourself in this situation and you have to really like take a step back and look at who is responsible for this. Jaguar was not, you were. You chose to insert yourself into somebody else's, expose and get in the middle of all of this to begin with. This is what you brought upon yourself, and you definitely, you're just seeing the results of what you created. And then we have the Six of Cups and the Five of Cups. I always laugh because the Five of Cups is like my drunk card. Unwind with Tasha K, but it is a whole thing of, I really thought I was going to get something out of this. I thought that this was going to benefit me. It was supposed to bring me, money, fame, get my name out there, get people over to my channel. However, that did not work out for me. And this turned into a gigantic disaster. And now I'm sitting on the floor crying. And the funny thing is that she definitely sees herself as being the high priestess in this situation. She thinks that she's being intuitive. She thinks that she is gonna somehow turn the tide in her favor. And it's like, I just have to find that one hidden thing, that thing in the darkness, that uncovered, secret. And then that's what's gonna put everything right with me. And so she is thinking that this family member or whatever it was, of Jaguar Rights that's going to come out and wants to do this actual interview and wants to actually have these conversations. She's thinking that this person coming out and speaking is going to change everybody's perception of her as the bad person and be like, oh, well, Tasha was right and Jaguar is, a criminal or insane or liar or whatever she thinks that this thing is going to do for her. Now, the other thing that's funny is that the first thought that went through my head while I was hearing this, news that she was saying this whole thing or whatever, it's very funny because the first thing that went through my head was, if somebody in your family came out speaking badly against you, Tasha, you would have the biggest fit in the world. But again, Tasha is very much like, I wouldn't want it done to me, but I have no problem doing it to somebody else. So not great. Also, what is interesting is that I didn't realize until literally very recently that this deck has 2 of the Three of Swords cards in it, and I noticed only because this card came up twice in a spread that I did for a client, and I was like, holy crap. I've had this deck for 5 years now, and never once did I ever notice that it actually had this because they just never came up twice in a row. But I left it in because I felt like maybe it was just sort of needed to be in there, and that, not all mistakes are mistakes. And so we get the Three of Swords again in this spread on her. She is in this place of having faith that her money is not going to be affected in the long term with the Faith card and the Palace of Coins. It's like hoping against hope, praying to God, okay, this might be right now there's an issue. Right now people may not like me. Right now we may not be getting all these people trying to work with us to make commercials, run their ads on my videos, blah, 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 whatever. But this is just a moment and it's going to pass. And I'm just going to make sure, because she is trying to manifest it with the World card coming up. She is trying to manifest that, you know, things will get back to better for her. Now, we do have the Hermit card, which is just basically talking about it being that stagnant moment, it being that moment where the world's falling down around you, because she's the Seven of Wands fighting against people, trying to defend herself. So it's like, this is your down moment. You're fighting everybody. She will bounce back from this because there is some sort of exclusive or good interview or really good information that she's going to break that is going to give her that little bit of rebound. However, it's very short-lived with this Nine of Cups, Three of Coins, and Three of Swords. So it's like she does this really great groundbreaking interview, or she really blows the lid off some big story. Something happens that puts her back in people's favor. However, there is somebody, this Page of Cups person, it's not Storm, it's somebody else that's within this, you know, YouTubing, blogosphere, whatever, that she's going to get into it with them. With this Star card, a bunch of information comes out again against her, and then she's back to the Palace of Wands, which is fighting to defend herself, fighting to defend her position on YouTube, fighting to keep things going for herself. And yeah, you know, it's with Tasha, it's like, it's gonna be very hard for her to break 1 million. And once she does, I feel like she's gonna sit there for a very long time, because there's so much back and forth with this girl. It's like, I do great, then I fuck up. I do great, then somebody else wants to come after me. I do great, and then I get in my own way with the Devil card. Then we have the Chariot, and then the Palace of Cups. A lot of it, again, she lets her emotions get the best of her. So if people trigger her ego, if people trigger her inner child, if people make her feel like, you know, she wasn't given credit for something, that's her immediate, okay, that's it. I'm making a video. I'm going to do something. And then she always has to kind of play cleanup crew after the fact. And so that's why it's like, are you kind of the same as Cardi in that sense? That Cardi will flip out, get online, say a bunch of stuff, then have to come back and clarify and be like, well, I didn't mean it that way. What I meant was, Tasha, you're getting yourself into those same kind of situations by letting yourself get riled up, by letting people trigger you, because at this point, it's like everybody's figured out her game. They figured out what they can do to mess with her. They know the things that bother her. They know what they can do to really pull a fast one on her and to get her caught up and to get her to trip over herself. And so it is really easy for those people that would be her haters or enemies to then jump in to cause problems for her and to force her to kind of get online and show her ass in self-defense, right? Because she sees it as, you're coming after me, I'm defending myself. And they're like, I just got you to do exactly what I wanted you to do. Now you got drunk and you went online, started screaming and looking like a fool all over again. Yay me! Like, they feel like she just plays into it and they know how to do that. Especially this guy. It might be Armand Wiggins, because I keep feeling like there is a guy and he's very, very petty. But it's like, he's kind of earned the right to the pettiness that he has towards Tasha, because she has messed with him so much and they've had so many back and forth situations, that when it comes to it, it's like any opportunity that he sees that he can do something to her, he takes it. It's like, if I can take this opportunity to piss you off and make you go crazy online, I'm taking that, I'm pushing that button of yours. And then you end up in another Ten of Swords situation of being, you know, looking like the fool and being all pissed off and being upset and then having to try to fix things for yourself again, you know. But then Tasha always comes back with the Six of Wands, like, bitch, you thought you thought, here I am. I lost 5,000 subscribers, but now I got 6,000 back. Like, that's on you, you know. But then, again, there is another moment that comes. And yeah, it's, again, Page of Pentacles and Knight of Cups. It's like back and forth. I do good, I screw up. I do good, I screw up. But this is the thing that is a little interesting. And I kind of mentioned this in the last reading that I did on her too, was that, you know, she did these things with the idea, the future plan in place of like, well, you know, I scratched your back, so you'll scratch mine with some of the celebrities. And Jaguar isn't the first one that there's been a celebrity behind trying to take somebody else down in the background, and Tasha's gotten pulled into it. It's just the one that was the most obvious and easy to figure out as far as other people were concerned. Like, they're like, nah, we knew with this one. And now they're like starting to look back and be like, well, that one time when you said this about somebody else, was it because that other person that doesn't like them? You know, there's a lot of that stuff going on. And like I had said, the time is going to come where she is going to try to kind of call in those favors. Like, well, I did this thing for you. They're not going to do anything back for her, though. Like, she's going to be so mad and left so high and dry, because when the time comes, they're like, oh, wait, who are you again? It's like, wait, what? I attacked somebody for you, and now you're telling me you don't know who I am? And there's like, no, I don't, though. And playing stupid, and then Tasha's kind of, you know, left out to air out in that sense. Now, this is very interesting that I get the Judgment, the Justice, and the Tower card for her in the middle of this spread. But then here is the Ten of Cups right behind it. So it's like, again, like, you put yourself in situations, you blow up on people, but then you always somehow save yourself. Like, Tasha's just, but you know what, though? I mean, this is the thing, too, you guys. The seesaw of justice and karma and things like that, who wants to constantly be on that? You know, it's like at some point you want to get off of that. At some point you don't want to be the controversial person anymore. At some point you would prefer to be seen as a trusted blogger and a trusted source of information and somebody who does have integrity, rather than to be the hot mess who sometimes your stories are true and sometimes they aren't, and you're always in the middle of drama with other people. It's like that gets old at some point, and it definitely is going to get to that for her when a couple years down the road she's still in the same place. But there is going to be, with this Tower card moment, you know, like I said, there's this guy that's like pushing buttons behind the scenes, trying to cause problems for her. There is this Queen of Cups person who shows up that's also going to play a role in this Tower card moment for her, so a female. And because we have Justice and Judgment, I would venture to say that this is Cardi B. I don't think Tasha is going to win her lawsuit against Cardi. I also don't feel Cardi's going to win her lawsuit against Tasha either, though. It's like, but whatever happens, the outcome of it, it affects Tasha in a much more negative way than it ever would Cardi. Because number one, Cardi is the, you know, the big celebrity here. Cardi's the one that has much more money. And to Cardi, it's like, what does it matter if I even lose a lawsuit or have to settle a lawsuit with some small ass, like, to her, you know, small fish YouTuber, when I'm out here making songs with Megan Thee Stallion, I'm rubbing elbows with French Montana. Like, I went, you know, I was just at P. Diddy and Jay-Z's party last week. Like, who are you that I'm gonna give a crap about? You know, to her, it's just like, whatever. But to Tasha, you know, that is a huge, huge deal. And so I keep getting it being more so like the judge sort of being like, you guys each have to pay for your own legal, or Maybe Tasha has to pay for Cardi's legal. But whatever it is, it's like nobody really wins anything, but Tasha is the loser in that situation because it does affect her financially, emotionally, whatever. But then this is the thing too, like when she said the other day on one of those videos, like she called Cardi her wife and she was like, oh, we've been in court for 4 years or however long it's been or whatever. The funny thing about that is Cardi drags that out because she keeps making it like, oh, Cardi doesn't want to actually go to court. Cardi's being smart. She knows that you don't have legal money. She knows that I'm not going to really get anything out of you even if I win this lawsuit because you don't have anything for me to take. However, I can certainly mess with you by making you be in this legal battle with me for 4 years. I can certainly mess with you by making you have to pay your lawyers for all of this stuff. And so she's just like, whatever, I don't care. Like, I don't really care what the outcome is. I'm just gonna let you be miserable in the meantime. So, you know, Tasha definitely is not getting what she's looking for out of this lawsuit with Cardi, and it does have a very detrimental effect to her. Also, I do feel like she probably will be ordered that she can't speak about Cardi any longer, even if she doesn't win the lawsuit, and even if they're like, you know, even if Cardi doesn't win, even if the judge is just like, you guys just need to like leave each other alone and there is no case here, like I do feel like there may be something put on her still to where it's like, you can't talk about her anymore. You can't report on her anymore. If you do, then you will be charged or she will have an actual case against you or whatever. But again, that's because Tasha put that up in her own, you know, like she brought that to herself. And the thing is that like before that card, and I'm sorry, I should have grabbed it, 4 of Cups, there's an offer coming that she doesn't take, which leads to this woman getting this tower moment. So I feel like there is gonna be some sort of mediation or something that is gonna take place in that sense of, hey, like, let's just, you know, both go our own separate ways, drop everything, we're okay. And Tasha's like, screw you, I'm not doing that. Well, guess what, Tasha? Your stubbornness brings you that tower card. Bad mistake. And she's going to be making a lot of not so great choices for herself coming up over this next 18 months. Specifically between the 6 and 7 month marks, you know, this next 6 to 7 months is really, really not going to be a great time for her as far as making wrong decisions. But it is like the way that Spirit is like explaining it to me, this next year and a half is going to be a huge learning lesson period for Tasha. Learn how to do things better. You know, we're going to keep throwing obstacles your way. Karma's going to keep coming to pay you a visit. You're going to keep dealing with this shit until you learn to actually truly buckle down and conduct yourself and your channel and your shows and your interviews and everything else that you've got going on for yourself in a different way that actually makes sense and won't hurt people, including yourself. Because again, 2 of Swords followed by this Empress. It's her making these wrong choices based on emotion, based on what she feels that she can spin it or create it to be, when the reality is that's not, you know, like she thought she was gonna twist things and turn things and get the world to turn on Jaguar right, and instead people turned on her. It's gonna be more of that, like, oh, well, if I break this exclusive, or if I tell this story, if I run with this or whatever, everybody's gonna be like, yeah, Tasha, you did it, you know. And no, you didn't. Like, everybody gets mad at you all over again because you asked this person all these horrible questions, or you didn't ask them the right questions, or you were just downright rude to them, or whatever the case may be. So that's definitely, you know, gonna be an issue. Spirit, how is Tasha's money right now? Let's see how Tasha's money is right now. Because I also keep getting, I mean, I know she bought a house. She said they bought a new truck. I keep getting something about so much money has been going out that even though she's making it, like whatever she's making is just right, you know, like it just kind of makes a little circle through your bank account and right back out again. And it's like trying to make back the money that has been continually being, you know, going out of her home and account and trying to bring it back in, but doing it in ways that are not the best. So it's like, yeah, you know, you thought, well, I'll make $3,000 off of that video, just for example, and then another $3,000 from sponsors, and then the sponsors are seeing this video and being like, oh my God, I did not want my brand attached to that, you know, that kind of thing. And then it's like, get our videos off, you know, get our ads off of that video, and please do not ever post us ever again. So there's stuff that she's doing that really just isn't making sense for her in the long-term sense. Yeah. You know, she is showing up as the Queen of Pentacles, very worried about her money, making decisions that she feels are going to help her financially. High Priestess in reverse, though, she's not seeing that it is not in her best interest to do so, that you have to say no more often. You have to really think about things instead of rushing, because then you get yourself in this hangman position where nobody wants to do anything. Nothing is coming in because she has a Sun card in reverse. Things are not coming in because you made those wrong decisions based off of money. And then you end up in these Nine of Swords situations where you're then upset, crying, stressed out, freaking out because you did the wrong thing. You made the wrong choice. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, she actually has a lot of people walking away from working with her with this Eight of Cups, who I know she was talking about like having room for a new mentor, and she had somebody picked out. And then I heard that that same person was like criticizing her handling of everything and has been very critical of her. Whoever that was, because I can't remember the name right now. With this Eight of Cups and then the Knight of Wands, they're no longer working with her. They are leaving her, but there's also other people connected to money, connected to, you know, work. So I would say advertisers, because they also preceded this with the Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. They are not wanting to work with her. She is actually trying to beg and offer them things. Like, okay, listen, I know like that wasn't a great video. Yeah, people are upset. Don't worry. This happens all the time, guys. Like, listen, I'll give you a discount and then you get 3 ads run on the show for the next month. How about that? They aren't taking her up on that, though. They're actually not. They're not like, oh, okay, sure, Tasha, never mind. You know, yeah, that's how it goes. We get it. Nope, 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 nope. They are not playing with her anymore because they feel like there's other people we can advertise with who aren't in a scandal every single day. There's other people that we could work with that's not going to come back to bite us and our brand in the butt, you know. Her husband is also very... He's tired of playing cleanup crew. With the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles, it's like I constantly have to be like, Tasha, don't do that. Don't say that. Don't do this. Don't do that. And it's like, she'll convince him that something is a good idea, but then the outcome is always this Eight of Swords, Three of Swords, where it's like, you caused yourself problems. You caused this, you know, and then he's like, I should have listened. I shouldn't have listened to you. I shouldn't have let you convince me. Damn it. Now I have to go, like, because he's the one that ends up having to apologize and deal with these advertisers who get mad and don't want to work with her anymore. He's the one that has to go behind her and make all of these, you know, conciliatory gestures towards people and try to mend fences and relationships. And he feels like he's constantly having to check her after the fact. And it's like, I don't want to write a script for you that you have to sit there and be like, hi guys, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to talk about Young Buck. But like, he's starting to feel that he has no other choice, and that that's what it is going to come down to in the future if they can't find a better way for her to sort of deal with things. And he loves her. He actually really does. And he really does care about her and wants their relationship to work, because I did get, he feels like their marriage is a really good marriage, you know, and he's not turning his back on her, but it's just like, you have these times where you get out of control, and he's sort of seeing it as, I think you got too big for your britches. Like, you think you know better than everybody else because you got this fame, you got this popularity, you started getting the money, and instead of us, you know, sort of just being happy with that and doing the right things with it, you kind of got power hungry, got crazy, got in your own head, got in your own way, and now I got to bring you back down. So, and he does it a lot, but he just feels like it's getting more and more and worse as time has gone on, and he's getting really tired of it. So let's see what else Spirit has to say about this, and then we'll ask one more question about Storm, and then we'll go ahead and end the video. All of these cards just want to come out about you, Tasha. What are you up to? Oh my God. I got the Tower card again for her. Let's see what the other cards have to say first before we pull that one. I just keep getting this Eight of Swords with her. It's like you keep putting yourself in these situations, because she comes up as the Empress, which is, I am the co-creator, but I am co-creating these Eight of Swords bad situations for myself that end up in a Tower card situation. And again, the World card is flanking that, where it's like, I get everything back and then I turn around and I ruin it all over again. There's going to be a time where she's really going to be looking back like, where did I go all wrong with this? What did I do? What could I have done differently? I should have listened. Because again, this King of Pentacles, Six of Swords, people walking away from her when it comes to doing business, not wanting to invest in her, not wanting their finances connected to Tasha and her channel, and feeling like, you know, it's too big of a risk to do anything with you. Like, yeah, you got all these people to buy my mouthwash or whatever the hell it was that I was selling, but now, you know, when you're getting canceled every other week and you're doing these things, attacking people who are victims of assault and you know, got the whole world turning against you, it's just too much of a risk to me and my brand and my business to continue to work with you. Again, the Devil and the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords often does mean, you know, like if you're doing a relationship reading, somebody else coming in, being that other woman, causing your, you know, relationship to be full of infidelity and heartbreak and all this. But in this sense, it is the temptation of Tasha getting in her own freaking way. It's like, I'm going to snap. I'm going to go off on somebody. And then everybody getting mad at her because she snapped and went off on somebody. The Justice and the Ten of Swords, it is her karma. It is her karma, you know, that she's going through this. But again, I don't think that anybody could even doubt that. Like when you see somebody be bad and then 2 days later everybody's mad at them for being bad, it's like, well, we saw it coming. Like, are we surprised? Not really. So, I mean, her husband's going to continue to try to save her, but she's not going to lose everything, guys. It's just, I feel it being a very upwards, like uphill battle for her to get any farther. And I think that she's going to reach a point where that's just her highest and that's all she's going to be. you know, like I said, she might hit that 1 million subscribers and then just stay there for a really, really long time, because I just don't see her being this big. Oh my God, I am the next Wendy Williams. I am the next Nene Leakes. I'm getting all of these things. Like, she keeps talking about these big broadcasts and these big production companies want to work with her and this and that. And Spirit's just like, and those offers are not on the table anymore, and they're not coming back on that table either. So even if she suddenly decides, like, if she was telling the truth that, oh, all these production companies always want to work with me, and I tell them no because I want to be my own person and I want to have my own voice and this and that, it's like, if she sees things not continuing to go the way that she wants them to on her channel, she's still losing subscribers, she's still losing advertisers, she's not getting the views, she's not getting the support, she's just getting this negativity. And then it's like, well, maybe I should go talk to Bravo and see, like, you know, if they want me to still do that show. And I'll tell them that, you know, like, I'll play by their rules, and I'll keep my mouth shut and I won't say things. And there's like, yeah, no, like, that was only good when we brought it up then, and we've moved in a different direction now, Tasha, but thanks for calling us, you know, maybe in the future, but it ain't ever gonna happen in the future. So I want to ask, what is the relationship like currently between Tasha and Storm? And then we'll do our own reading coming up on Storm. All right, let's see. And I know a lot of people were also saying something about, like, it seemed like, or he said something about there being some sort of contract between them, so that even though, yeah, she's no longer mentoring him or whatever, there is some contract. Like, to be honest with you, I just saw, like, the clip at the end where he was saying, like, you're not going to drag us into this, and we're not going there, and, you know, trying to kind of shut everything down. But I didn't watch, you know, I just watched that clip on somebody else's video talking about, like, what was going on. So I didn't see him talking about any sort of contract. I don't know if that's just speculation or whatnot. Two of Wands. You know, he feels like, I think we mentioned this in our other reading where you know, about all of them. He feels like, okay, I do see what everybody was talking about. It breaks his heart with the Ten of Swords. He really was thinking that Tasha was somebody else. Like, you were nice to me. You were my friend. You helped me so much. Because we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, and he saw her as the Queen of Wands. You know, he did see her as this mentor, but also like a sister or a mother friendship. And it was like, I moved all the way out here. I've got a built-in friend. We're going to go places together. And then it's like, why would you do this? Like, I've done nothing but be nice to you. I've made you money. Like, I've done everything you told me to do. Like, why would you purposely go behind my back and try to hurt me? And so it's like, you know, that let down, which we've all been there. Everybody's warned us about somebody. We're like, I have to see the truth for myself. We see the truth for ourselves. Our feelings get hurt, you know, and then we have to kind of pick up and move on. Things are actually not good between them right now with this 5 of Cups and 9 of Cups. He's still not telling her anything. Like, it's just like, I peeped how you are. I'm going to keep things cool between us because I don't want to give you any fodder to come out and start attacking me and doing shit to me. And then, you know, like, I'm telling everybody else, like, don't put us in that situation, but you could put us in that situation. I don't want to trigger that. So I'm keeping my feelings to myself. Now, right now, as far as like the public perception of him and how things are going for him, it's going great. He's got the World card and the 6 of Wands. You know, he's the victor in this. Everybody is taking his side. Whether he says anything or not, people are feeling sorry for him, supporting him and standing up for him. And with this like 6 of Pentacles, it's like, he's kind of like, well, at least everybody is at least being fair and seeing, you know, what happens to me. but it also makes him embarrassed. It also makes him feel really like, I didn't want to be this person in this situation that has to feel that way. And then, you know, here's Tasha again as the Empress. She feels like she's creating something here. She thinks that they're going to get back on track with things. Page of Wands, Nine of Wands, Eight of Swords. It's never going to get back to the way it was. Storm's never going to trust her again. And there is going to come a point, you know, probably in this period of 8 to 9, I would say 8 to 9 weeks to 8 to 9 months, he's just going to completely separate himself from her. Like 8 to 9 months from now, we'll never ever hear anything about Tasha when it comes to Storm. He's not going to mention her. He's going to completely act like that never existed. It's just like, oh, that's somebody from my past, like all of that. But for the meantime, again, he's not really saying too much. He wants to with this Devil card, with the Seven of Cups and this Five of Swords. Like he wants to, but then he knows that he shouldn't, you know, because he comes up as the Knight of Wands, where it's like, do I, don't I, do I, don't I, do I, don't I, no I shouldn't, but I want to so bad, but I know I shouldn't, but I want to so bad. But I just feel like ultimately he's not going to, but he does very much feel like Tasha misled him. She lied to him. She promised him things, and then she turned around and stabbed him in the back. So, you know, again, it's just, and it's going to be really sad for her because Storm is going to really surpass her. Not in the sense that I don't think Storm's going to get to 1 million before her, and I don't think that Storm's going to get to 1 million anytime soon. But I just feel like he's going to be seen as much more of a reliable, trusted person who really is able to make the distinction between I'm putting on this over-exaggerated character to drag somebody during, you know, one of these gossip sessions or whatever you want to call his shows. But it's all in good fun, you know, whereas Tasha kind of blurs the lines and just exaggerates and goes overboard at times. Storm delineates himself enough from that people can tell the difference. And when he does his interviews, he's respectful of people. He asks the right questions. And so there's going to be a time where Tasha's going to wish that Storm could stave her or help her or put her on. And he's just not going to do it after what's happened. So Tasha, you just really need to be careful. You really need to stop acting on your emotions. Sit down, take a breath, think about things. Does everything need to be addressed? No. Do you need to be fighting with people? No. Keep it to what has worked for you. Sharing gossip, being funny and loud and all of that, drinking your wine. But all the extra stuff that you're doing just keeps causing you problems. And you really do need to learn how to kind of like put that to the side and be quiet. Once you do that, things will get better for you. Your husband loves you, so that's good. Your family life is good. It's the other stuff. It's the business. It's the career. It's the reputation that you need to be worried about. So I hope that helps to clarify things for people. This ended up being so much longer than I expected. But that's what happened. So if you guys wanted to book your own personal private reading with me, my website is in the description. Use Bella20 for 20% off your personal reading with me at psychicbellalove.com. And follow me on Instagram, Psychic Bella Love. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. It is truly appreciated. And I hope that everybody has a really, really blessed weekend. Thanks.